We're at a critical point, I would say turning point, and the comportment of French Cameroon is eminent. It's clear they are not willing to back down. They are not willing for any fair negotiations. While we are seeking to have a negotiated settlement or to push Cameroon out, they are kind of going about business as though nothing is really happening. You all have read the articles I forwarded to you. It speaks volumes. I may want to start with you, Secretary of State Zama. Please, you have to talk to us. Perhaps you will cue us into this conversation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Paddy. I think this fight that Cameroon is trying to fight, it's a foregone conclusion. It's a fait accompli. They cannot win this fight even diplomatically. The case that the International Court of Justice um, ceded to Cameroon was not ceded to Cameroon per se, but it was ceded to Ambazonia. Because even when the UN Secretary of State Kofi Annan came to Cameroon to ratify that agreement, he came in with two different maps. He came with a map of southern Cameroon and he came with a map of La République du Cameroon. Given that the Constituent Assembly of the AU has stated all boundaries acquired at independence are immutable. Given that particular act that Cameroon is a signatory to, does not give them any right, or does not give them any privileges or ownership of Bakassi, which is within the Milner Accord, which was ratified by the Anglo-German Treaty of 1913 and the Wilson-Milner Accord in 1935 and 46. So those accords were not drawn with Cameroon. Cameroon was never a signatory of any of that, and they are just an occupier. And every occupier always has to go. And the time is coming when La République will have to leave, whether they like it or not. We cannot fight this fight on every front, yes, but we are creeping towards their core valued properties. And those things are going to be hard with time. We are making progress, even though some people may say we are not moving fast enough. To attack infrastructures like the oil rigs in that area needs a lot of logistics that we are, at this moment, we are still working on that logistic to be able to counter those the fortification in that area. I think this is just a sham. It's a sham. If you look at the history of the Bakassi and in Nigeria, Cameroon, this thing was a foregone conclusion. Cameroon, in 1966, Buba Tafawa, the president of Nigeria or the premier of Nigeria, had basically said the Bakassi was not a territory of Nigeria. Even though Nigeria moved into that territory, because there were not people, Cameroonian population to inhabit that area, Nigerian inhabited it, and it was a very it's a very resourceful area with a specific type of marine animals that is not sought out all around the world at very high prices. So the Nigerians occupied that area until they discovered oil there and started planting their rigs in, I think, in 1972 or 74. But that's not something that Cameroon is going to win. It's not a winnable. They can celebrate that victory and call it Ahijo was a wise man, or Pobia was a wise man. Yeah, he was wise because he knew the Nigerian military was much more superior than the Cameroonian military, and it was nothing they could fight. Cameroon could not fight Nigeria at that point in time, so they just had to resolve this in a legal manner, which fortunately they gave back the territory to Ambazonia, because we were linked with La République, not given to La République per se.